show the thought process that goes behind this example of example 1.4 in the notes. A marketing organization wants to see if a new product is liked more than the old product. They present the new product to a focus group of 75 customers. They also present the old product to a different focus group of 100 customers. They then ask each person to rate the product on a scale from 1 to 5, where 5 is most liked. State the unit of observation, variables, populations, samples, appropriate parameters, and appropriate statistics. So one thing I want to point out is that all of these are plural because there are two. Since there are two different groups, there are going to be two of all of these things. So the unit of observation in this one would be, there's two of them. So the first unit of observation, which I'll call unit of observation 1, would be a person, a customer, I guess, because they're not just persons, they're just customers, looking at the new product. And unit of observation 2 is a customer looking at the old product. So those are my units of observation. And kind of what you're looking at here. And probably looking isn't the best word to use. I could have used a different word like assessing. But again, it's just one customer is what we're looking at. Now let's get to what is the variable. So it looks like what I'm here looking at this is that I'm looking at rating from a scale from 1 to 5. So it looks like a rating. So my variable, and again, I'm going to consider there being two. So my variable 1 is a rating of preference. Oops. For the new product. Notice I called this 1 because that 1 was the unit of observation was 1 also. And my variable 2 would be the rating of preference for the old product. You're going to notice in both of these, I'm kind of using new and old in both of them so that I can kind of keep them separate and keep them in line with each other. And that's what I would be looking at. You could kind of think of them both being ratings of preference, but since one's the new and one's the old, we consider them being two separates. Now we can get our populations again. Since there's two units of observation and two variables, there's two populations. So population 1 is the set of ratings of preferences of all customers about the new product. And population 2 is a set of ratings, a preference of all customers about the old product. And again, our populations are telling our readers and ourselves what we measured, what variable we're interested in, and also which product they're interested in and who we're measuring. Again, this is for all of them. So we didn't do for all, we didn't collect for all, but this is for every single customer we would ever have because we kind of like to know what they think about the new ones. We want to kind of think about what that population would think about the new product. So we would do it for all of them. If I go back, though, I didn't collect from all because we certainly can't get to every single one of our customers. We only looked at 75 for the focus group for the new product and 100 for the focus group for the old product. So our samples look exactly like the population. So it's the sample 1 is the set of preferences, ratings of preference of 75 customers about the new product. And our sample two is a set of ratings. Sorry about that. I have ratings. Ratings of preference of 100 customers about the new product. I'm sorry, the old product. Okay. Now we're going to get to our parameters. And again, the parameter is that number we calculate from this giant population. So if I go back to my population, I have all these ratings of these preferences of these customers. And ratings, if I think back to it, that would be an ordinal variable because it's just putting things in order. It wouldn't necessarily have a number that's inherent to it. It might have a five as being five is my favorite, but or five is very good, but it doesn't mean that that five is inherent. So I can't talk about differences or add any of these numbers together. All I can do is um, kind of count these numbers. And so in that case, when I go to look at my parameter would be something like that I would do with counting. But counting is okay. I could look at the frequency or the number of people who like something. But normally we like to look at percentages. We like to look at the number out of how many. So our parameter one would be the percentage. And we really care about people who rank it high. So the percentage of ratings are five from all for all customers about the new product. Because that's what we're interested in is that new product. And you could do it for all of them. You could actually get all the values for all the different ratings. So you could just not just do for just five, but you could do it for all of them. But I really only care about it being five because I want to know if they like it. If they don't, then I probably wouldn't use it. So here our parameter two would be the percentage of ratings of five for all customers about the new old product. So again, that's kind of that idea of that ranking. And again, you could do it for 0 through 5 and find out all those different percentages. You probably would do the percentages for all the different ratings. So not just for the fives, but for all of them. And again, since I don't have the whole population, we're going to get the numbers from our statistic. So we're going to have our statistic one, which is the percentage of ratings of five. And again, you wouldn't just do the five, you probably do for all of them, of 75 customers about the new product. So you'd like to know out of those 75, how many of them rated as what percent rated it as a five. I am using percentage, but you can also use proportion. So instead of percentage, we could call it proportion. They're very similar ideas. And your statistic two would be the percentage of ratings of five of the 100 customers about the old product. And the idea of this is we're using these statistic numbers to tell us what the parameter numbers are. So we would know, hey, yes, 85% of our students like the new product, 35% of our customers like the old product, or whatever it happens to be in what we want to rate it with. And again, you probably would find it for all the rankings so that you would know, okay, here's where they all are.